Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about scale drawings and how we can either reduce or enlarge a drawing proportionally. The first thing I'd like you to do is flip in your notes to page 15, please. Page 15 is going to be 7.5 day 1. On that page, I'd like you to fill in that a scale drawing is a proportional, two-dimensional drawing of an object. Basically, what we're doing is taking a drawing and making it either larger or smaller. A scale model is a proportional three-dimensional drawing of an object or model of an object. So this is something like a toy train, where we take the larger version of the train and scale it down into a much smaller version, but it's an actual three-dimensional object. The measurements in scale drawings and models are proportional to the measurements of the actual object. The scale gives the ratio that compares the measurements of the drawing or model with its actual measurements. So we're just saying how much smaller or how much larger did we make it. In this example here, the 1 inch represents the potential drawing distance. So in a drawing, we might have 1 inch representing an actual distance of 10 miles. To write it as a ratio, the 1 inch represents our drawing, while in actual life, that might represent 10 miles. What is the actual distance D between Cadillac and Detroit? Now, normally you would measure that with a centimeter ruler, but I went ahead and tell you that the map distance is about 3.5 centimeters. So from Cadillac in our map to Detroit is about 3.5 centimeters. Right here, this is our scale factor. 1 centimeter represents 50 miles in real life. So I'm going to go ahead and make a fraction out of that ratio. 1 centimeter represents 50 miles in real life. Well, now we're talking about 3.5 centimeters. So I want to know how many miles does that mean in real life. So this 1 centimeter over 50, that's my scale factor. This is going to equal 3.5 centimeters over, I don't know how many miles it is in real life, so we're just going to call that x miles. Now we just cross multiply and solve. Multiplied by x, 1 centimeter times x gives me just x. 50 times 3.5 gives me 175. So this tells me that in real life, the distance from Cadillac to Detroit is 175 miles. I'd like to go ahead and practice between two other cities, so Traverse City and Marquette. So Traverse City is here, and we're going to Marquette, which is up here. I went ahead and measured this for you. This is about 3 centimeters on the map. So if we're repeating exactly what we did up here, our scale on the map, 1 centimeter, represents 50 miles. So 1 centimeter represents in real life 50 miles. But I have 3 centimeters, so I'm going to set up a proportion to figure out how many miles does 3 centimeters represent. All we do again is cross multiply. 1 times x gives me x. 50 times 3 gives me 150. So this tells me that the actual distance in real life from Marquette to Traverse City is 150 miles. In example 2, the liquid outer core of Earth is 2,300 kilometers thick. A scale model of the layers of the Earth has a scale of 1 inch representing 500 kilometers. How thick is the liquid outer core in the model? So we have our scale of 1 inch representing 500 kilometers. We know that in real life, our liquid outer core is 2,300 kilometers, but we don't know in the model how big it is. So this is going to equal, I don't know the inches in the model, but I do know that it's 2,300 in real life. Here I can just half cross multiply. 1 times 2300 is 2300 over 500. So all I did is I moved the 2300 up, equals, and then I have the x remaining on the right. I can divide by 10, cross out the zeros, divide by 10 again, and this gives me 23 over 5. If you do that division, you will end up with about 4.6. And since we're talking the model, this is going to be inches. 4.6 inches in our model. Go ahead and take a moment and try the on your own number 2 on your own. Here again, I half cross multiply to get 2,900 times 1, which is 2,900, over 500 is equal. And on the right, I left my x there, so this is x. Divide by 10, divide by 10 again. I get 2.29 over 5. 29 over 5 is equal to my x. All you need to do now is divide that. When you divide, you will get x is equal to 5.8. So in your model, we have a thickness of 5.8 inches. What I'd like for you to do